quick recap of 2 trades today. Bigger time frame, overall bullish. So we had this 4-hour fair value gap holding price. It's bounced from here. We have change in the state, rebalances here. I think even to the 50%. Let's check. Yeah, so we got a check. And if you look at the more lower time frames, you can see they have relative equal highs. And price was moving down. And this was actually setting up, which I actually saw in hindsight, to become a market maker buy model. So I checked in when price was around, time was around 9:15. And what did I see? Just staircase up. We had this data wick. Can't remember what it was. There was this wick up here, and I think it created almost equal highs. So for now, I had the idea if there is a move going up, which to me seemed like a reasonable thing, especially also here you have an M5 and I think also an M15 fair value gap. I want to see a short move down. So let's see what price did. So I was looking at the 5-minute first. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So I was marking out the change in the state. First I had this change in the state, and then I changed the color to blue. It's also as a reference for me to see whatever ES is doing, so I have a balance to see where price is going. And what you can see is that relative to the blue, ES was already showing major drops because it already tagged these equal highs. So there was an SMT which supported the idea that a move to the downside first was to be expected. So, but first I thought, okay, maybe we have, first I wait for a close below the 5-minute. So I was waiting. Okay, then we got this, I think it was a 10 o'clock wick because of the, what was it? PMI services, whatever. So now we have a new high piercing this M5. It created a lower time frame SMT for relative to ES. And now I was watching, so we had a big drop below. And what was I looking at? Oh yeah, I wanted to see a drop below this one and see if I could take a move down from this level. I was a bit wary because ES already dropped significantly. So relative to let's see where are we. Yeah, so what you can see is that based on this wick, there was a SMT printed. So that's for ES. So I was still very much leaning towards a catch-up by NQ, but I was not so certain anymore. So let me check because I actually have the short position. This is the actual short position that I got. So I don't know, did I get in from this first tag? Let's just see, because I don't remember stuff like that. I just go in and then I see, no, not here yet. Oh, in replay mode it doesn't work. Let's see what price was doing. Maybe I entered here already. No, I entered in this one. And I think what happened here, oh yeah, this one I left and then price moved. So I was actually quite anxious in the sense that if there was a 5-minute close above this 5-minute fair value gap, so that was not too bullish, or that was too bullish and not too bearish. So I waited and I waited, and from here on I started trailing my stop loss, and I think I got out at this level here, and I will see if I can actually show the, yeah, okay, so here are they. So yeah, you can see I got in, what did we do? Oh no, I actually got in at the second one. What am I looking at? Oh no, it was the second trade. Whoopsie. Yeah, so okay, you can see I got in on the first wick, and I got stopped out because I trailed my stop to here, which was a good thing, because I think in the end, especially also seeing that S&T price was just bouncing to gain liquidity, to trap the shorts and then just move upwards. So I got out in a little bit of profit, which was okay for me. But I think my bias here was wrongfully short, also taking into account that most likely, and I'll check now in hindsight, let's just see if we already went to EQ. Yeah, we did 50%. So there was no reason for price to wait anymore if it was indeed bullish. Let's see if we have the same. Yes, of course, even further. So on to the next trade. What I was looking at, because I just took it. So these equal highs were taken, and price was just moving up. And I think there was a 1 hour. Yeah, so there's a 1 hour fair value gap here for sure, and I think also 4 hour. Let me just check. Yeah, so this was also 4 hour. The same actually. So let's go back to the 5. And okay, so I had to recognize this. My idea was the following. If I move to the M1, let's just move out this. So there is indeed a bigger time frame, FVG. And my idea was the following. So this is of course the drawn liquidity. However, price was printing a S&T. So we have a lower high here, and we have a clear higher high here. So I'll just mark this out as a reference. And this was the S&T. So there was a 5-minute fair value gap here. Price was support, dropping down, acting as resistance. So my idea was, this was just a short trade, because I also saw that, taking into account that this is likely liquidity to be run, that this area will get filled, but there is a reason to expect again a similar trade move to equilibrium. And even though it got it here already, my idea was that maybe it could move a bit down to this 5-minute fair value gap, because this is actually where the EQ of this entire move was. To be honest, I thought that was just made sense. Actually, if you take into account this move, the first leg, that's also just fine, I think. Would have protected for the risky short, because I think this was quite counter trend risky. So I was looking, price went into that fair value gap, dropped below, made a new low, change in the state again, but I expected this to range because this was still untapped liquidity. So I thought, okay, I'll go short, tight stop here. So I went short 8 contracts in this candle, and nice equilibrium, nice match with the, and it moved down here. and I had my first TP at this level, and then I trailed my stop. First I trailed it to here, then I trailed it to here, then I trailed it to here, and finally I trailed it, oh no, actually I trailed it to here in the end, because you can see the green line here. I was stopped out. Also in profit, this was a nice one, I think 1.6 in total. And then I paper traded, because my expectation was, okay, we have a resistance here on the M5. It tags, consolidates a bit. So my idea was, I didn't trade, it was paper trade in all fairness. My idea was, if how did I do this? Yeah, I wanted to have this low. If this one breaks and it retests, I treat it as a was this the trade? No, actually, if I would get a retest here, for close above this one, and then a stop slightly below, I was lucky because I think I missed my stop by 1 tick, and then fully exits in at the highs. So that was a nice 3.5 paper trade, of course, but that was just expecting the completion of the market maker buy model. So yeah, and this morning I missed the trades. That was actually quite sloppy because I was just waiting for it and I didn't pull the trigger. So let's just make a short recap. That was actually here. That was London Open. So London opened here at this price, and I saw similar price action as it was yesterday. So price was dropping. I marked out the H4, and there was also an M15, if I'm not mistaken, level here. Yeah, this one. So I thought, okay, this will surely act as support. That's my expectation. To trace the whole inefficient move back down, maybe create a smart money reversal, blah, 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 all the terms. But I was watching, and price actually swept this low, and it started moving. It was a 5-minute fair value gap. And I think I opened the laptop here. I marked out this change in the state, here another one, and I said to myself, okay, there is a bigger level, I think 15-minute change in the state. I want to wait for that one. I talk too much. Well, at least there was a level for me. And messy. So I was waiting here, tagged it, but then it sold off instantly. So then my assumption was, okay, now we're in the 15, but also in the 4 hour. And I said to myself, okay, so now we're below this 5 minutes. And ideally, I want to be able, if there is a good bounce, to short it with the high here, and then the level here to the lows, because then I'm expecting some kind of manipulation. This was a strong move, but I expect that a manipulation to bounce further for 1.8. Okay, I think I wanted to have like an ideal risk reward, which is bullshit in hindsight, but I don't know. For the next time, that was also my note, I should just place my entry here, because I was struggling with the whole fact that there was a big FEG here, and then this was, in my opinion, not the best RR. But yeah, I mean, who gives a rat's ass? So for next time, either just go with the flow and just take into account that this 5 minutes will hold, since the EQ of that fair value gap held perfectly on the 5 minutes. Rejection, breakthrough, support, rejection. So my idea was to enter on the EQ as well, but that was too greedy. Also because price already rebalanced to, I think it was the golden fib, yes, to the 62. So that was a bit too much to ask. So next time I can just give it some extra leeway and then just trade it back down. So that was, yeah, I mean, sloppy. And I think I actually considered another short here on this one. But now I felt like I was chasing the move. So I had this idea and then just deleted it because I thought, you know, now I was just feeling anxious about, I was happy about missing this one because I was more bullish biased. I was actually trigger happy to go long here. But then this candle came, this was my proper, let's say 2-minute chance or 10-minute chance. It's quite long, to go short. But here I felt I was chasing the move, which I do not have any experience with. So then I should also not do it, in my opinion. So that was today. A lot of action. I think overall I'm happy with what I did.